Hello, everybody. Is everyone here? Hello, how are you? My name is Paulina Rosas. Thank you for joining this webinar today with Los Artistas series. If somebody gets in here, hello, Ale. Hi, everybody. Um, just super quick, I'm gonna jump, I guess, right into my presentation. I don't think you need to see my face much today. Pretty sure you'll see it when the questions arrive. So please don't forget to ask your questions at the end of this. Yeah, thank you, Nico. Yeah, I'm really happy to do this. And we're just gonna talk about navigating e-commerce today. So I know it's a hot topic, specifically with COVID-19 going on. So I'll just share my screen really quick and I guess talk a little bit about myself and um, what I do. So we're gonna start here. With setting up a Square store and website, along with a discussion on various other platforms. If you don't know who I am, my name is Paulina Rosas again. I have a BFA both in graphic design and metalsmith. I am currently a member of Los Artistas, holding the position of member at large. Previously, I worked also with other nonprofit organizations such as SNAC or the Society of North American Goldsmiths, as an intern for marketing and photographing their whole show that they have once a year. I did it last year for Chicago 2019 and was also their social media analyst. So I'm going to be talking a little bit also about marketing and social media because it really intertwines with having an e-commerce. I've worked in e-commerce for about 3 years, but I've had my own website for about 8. I just kind of started selling my things, in markets about 8 years ago with Los Artistas, as an undergrad. And then wanted to amplify those audiences, and just target different things that I could do. And that's how I started my e-commerce. And now with COVID-19, I think all of us that do small markets or started in markets and now do art fairs or do other types of things, we have to shift to do it at home, right? So please, again, if you have any questions, if you just logged in here, don't forget to put those questions in here. Also, if you don't have a Square Up site, which is what we're going to be talking about today, not to be confused with our Squarespace, Square Up, the system that does the point of sale for transactions and like your little Square. If you've ever sold anything, you probably have one. But in case you don't, I'm gonna send you a referral email with information, but then also a link to get $1,000 free of transaction fees. So let's get started. Wait, why is this not going? Sorry, guys. So we're gonna start before we start, I guess, right? So things to consider between e-commerce and Etsy and other platforms, pros and cons. When we started doing this webinar series and talking about this with Los Artistas, we're thinking about doing either e-commerce or Etsy, and I know there's a lot of questions about where to begin. So I wanted to touch base on that. So I'm going to start with the cons of having an e-commerce site versus an Etsy. So one of the very first cons that I could think of was that you need to drive your own audience to your e-commerce site, and that's where marketing comes like really, really important when you have an e-commerce site. But driving your audience, Etsy does that for you. And I think one of the most important things in that is that you just upload, and then you would think that you just come right in your Etsy store, but in reality, it's kind of like a double-edged sword where you do have all the audience come to you, but then you also have your competitors right next to you. And sometimes, with price points, people tend to shift everything so fast that they're clicking on maybe your stuff and they're like, oh, there's other stuff. And then it's just kind of, navigating that double-edged sword. And then transaction fees versus listing fees. So transaction fees is gonna be what any e-commerce website charges you every time they process a credit card or a debit card, versus listing fees. Etsy doesn't do transaction fees, they do listing fees, which is 20 cents per listing. But this is including, let's say you do, I don't know, printmaking, and then you have 3 different types of prints. You'll do a listing for each type of like size of prints, for example. So it would be like 20 cents. And then this is also an upfront cost to you. When you want to list something, you have to pay those 20 cents first. And to get bumped onto the top of Etsy, you have to either unlist and list things so that you appear like you're putting up work very often, or you'll just get drowned by newer listings every single day. There's also the learning curve, which I think that's why we're all here trying to learn about e-commerce and what it entails and how to navigate it. And Etsy, everything is already done. You only have to take your pictures, put your description, and have the prices, and then that's it. You don't have to worry about how your site interacts with the client, because Etsy already has done that for you. And then with Etsy, the shipping is automatically calculated, versus if you have a free Square Up site, it doesn't calculate it for you. And with Etsy, you can do a click and ship, so that your customer already has the ability of seeing exactly how much they're going to spend on shipping, and you have the ability to just click and automatically have that shipping label created for you, so you don't have to worry about copy and pasting information from one site to another, or to USPS or whatever. One of the many pros about having an e-commerce site is that it's unique to you. You get to choose your domain. If you pay $12 a year, which is $1 a month, it's pretty good. I know domains range on variety depending if you choose .com or .org or .co, but it's between $12 and $17. And this is going to be where you can, adapt it to yourbusiness.com. But you can also do a sort of unique domain with Square site, even if you do a free one. But instead of ending at .com, it will end in .square.site. So I think that it still looks pretty professional. You can still deal with having a Square.site, because it's telling the person that receives that domain that they're going to buy from a Square site from you. So I think everyone by now is very familiar with Square, and it will be a great add-on if you already have a website, to have just an extra tab without having to pay for e-commerce. There's also several options when it comes to e-commerce. Like, again, we're going to talk about Square Up, and I've been dabbling a little bit between the different several e-commerce sites. I've done Square Up, I've done Squarespace, I've done Weebly, I've done Shopify, which now, in I think 2 years ago, Square Up bought Weebly so they could do a web page. But I'll talk a little bit more about that later. So there's different things, and obviously if you are looking at this and like, oh, well, maybe I want to go somewhere else, or if you're willing to pay for your page, definitely research Square Up versus Shopify on Google, and then the pros and the cons will pop up. You also have no listing fees on e-commerce, so there's no upfront cost to you. You can list your items, and then the transaction fees, you can just add them to your final price when people are paying, and you don't take that cut yourself. You also have access to some of your own analytics. For those who are not familiar with the word analytics, it's basically how information is stored based on who visits your site. So the moment somebody goes to yourbusiness.com, automatically the site, it's grabbing information from this customer. It's kind of like if you are seeing someone grab your pieces when you're selling in person, and saying like, oh, this piece of jewelry, or this vase, or this painting has been asked about a lot, or has been picked up the most. But you get the advantage of being online, so people are doing it freely without the risk of like them being like, oh, I don't want to be observed. They just click on the things that they like the most, and you can see if somebody left a cart unattended, or I mean, just infinite possibilities. The best analytics I've seen, if you're, I guess this is something of your priority, is through Squarespace. They can tell you if a person from Germany is clicking 2 times, and it's like super specific. When you do a Square Up free site, the only analytics you have access to would be your clicks per page, your unique visits, and your sales. You also can edit your SEO, or your search engine optimization. Your SEO, for those who are not familiar, is basically what it says in the name. The way you appear on your search engine. So whether it's Google, or it's Safari, or it's Firefox, whatever you use, it's that little thumbnail that gives the person who's receiving it the information. And this is important because you don't want a clutter preview of what you do. So if you're doing, some earrings, buy now. You always want to have that option of call to action. You can also populate your inventory already available in the Square app, and this is for the people that have already a Square app point of sale. So, and those who have an inventory already. I know myself, I do, working from a background of retail and customer service. I always had this information to see, again, marketing, who's buying what at what time, what's selling first. I'm going to say though, if you do already have an inventory, you probably only have one image. You still have to take different image for one specific item, and just kind of make it work so that it looks good on the e-commerce site. You also get pop-ups for email collection, and email collection is super important because, again, marketing. You want to know who's visiting you, and you want to have their email so you can reach to them again. You're not going to be always in their mind. People are busy all the time with like thousands of information and ads and everything, and you want to remind them, what, here I am, this is my new collection or whatever, and then just kind of remind them of that. And lastly, one of the pros, or the last pros that I can think of for e-commerce, is it's not only for sales. You can also set up your Square Up site for appointments, and this can help you if you're willing to open your studio or at-home studio, or if you have a brick and mortar that hasn't been opened regular hours yet. You can get people to sign up for appointments and get them to come to your studio and then pick the pieces themselves. This is important for things like having a painting and not really sure if the right color is showing them the right color on their screen, or if you have ceramics, like what exact size, or jewelry, like how does it hang on them, and then also another opportunity of an upsell. If they come to your studio, maybe they see something that you haven't uploaded to your site yet, or they didn't even pay attention on your site, they're seeing it in person and it calls to them. You can also add gift cards, which is another great thing for upselling. So if you do gift cards for significant other that doesn't know the exact shade of one color that they need, or a family member that knows that they like your stuff but they don't know exactly what to get, these are things that will come in handy. Okay, so before we decide a plan, I think it's important to consider the things that come in a plan and the things that don't. So the things that come in a Square Up plan, or most of the plans that are out there for e-commerce, the first thing is going to be a domain. They're gonna allow you to have a domain if you already have money to invest upfront. And obviously this is perfect for looking more professional, to having more of a branding advantage towards you. You also have access to more analytics. You know, you have access to all sorts of analytics, where people are coming from, where they're clicking, who's leaving what in their cart, and all that sort of stuff. You also get the click and ship, which eliminates the need to figure out and like copy and paste and like trying to ship it to the right place. But then also they give you discounts on your USPS or UPS rates. This is really good. I know there's a page that offers discounts as well, and it's all free of charge, that I used to use when I had my SquareUp site, and it's called Pirate Ship. It is really, really good. I definitely recommend it if you're gonna do a SquareUp free, to have those discounts offered to you, as well as the footer branding. So the SquareUp, what it's going to do, it's like, hey, I'm giving you this for free, but I'm going to also plug in my own marketing. So if people see your page right at the bottom, is going to say powered by SquareUp, you know? Okay, so we're gonna start here, changing gears onto like the things that you need to start your website, from logging to order fulfillment. I think one of the things that gets super overlooked is passwords. I know myself included, I started my Facebook when I was in high school, like barely starting. And if you want to, you know, start your website and link into your Facebook, well, you need these passwords and you need to remember them. You need to, you know, plug them in for different settings that you need to use them. And also the password for your SquareUp. I know I set up mine also very long time ago, and you're going to need it to plug it in on your computer if you don't ever go to your dashboard. But also make it secure. This is going to be your livelihood. This is going to be where you get your money from, and you don't want anything happening or getting your things hacked because you don't have a safe password. Also, professional product photography. This is really important, and we did have a webinar last week in product photography with Jorge Calleja. So if you haven't seen it, go to lasartistas.org. You'll see on our homepage, click to register for webinars. If you click on that, you'll see the past webinars, including the future webinars we'll have, and you can see the video on that one if you're wondering how to do your product photography. But more than just product photography, you'll also need professional photography. So things that show your customer how things are going to be used. So if it's jewelry, like me, for example, I would need a model that shows how their earrings are, you know, are dealing with like the neck. Not everyone has the same neck length. If you're doing paintings, you want something that shows, you know, a good wall with how the painting looks. If you're doing, I don't know, ceramics or glass or like any sort of foodware, you'd want to have food around to show the sizes and how certain things fit in certain things. If, you know, if you're doing fabric as well, a model. Always have some sort of photography that is kind of like magazine, because you need this for your marketing. Once again, always marketing. Copywriting, not to be confused with copyright. Copywriting is everything you are going to need for your marketing and your advertising, but also the things that you write down. You're going to have to write down a lot of the things. If this is like the first thing you're doing, you never have an e-commerce or a web page, a lot of writing is going to be involved. From, you know, the first catchphrase that you're going to have so that people click on your image, to the item description, to about me, to hey, contact me, this is my information, I do custom work, let's get in contact, things like that, all the way to the last email that your customer receives. Hey, thank you for shopping with me. All this is copywriting that you need. I'm going to be honest, I hire someone because I'm pretty bad at it. I'm pretty good at everything else, graphic design wise and everything. But when it comes to writing, it's just not the thing for me. He's amazing. His name is Gabe. I'll send you some information if you need someone to help you with the copywriting. I definitely recommend him. He's awesome. Also, prices. We're gonna need to figure out how much you need to pay yourself to run this e-commerce. Once you start figuring out how long it takes to have an e-commerce running, you'll want to up your price a little bit. And if you're not sure how to price your items, we also have a webinar on how to price and package your items on next Thursday with Rochelle and Susie. Also, thecertistas.org, go and check it out. You also want to have your packaging ready. I know that you're eager to sell and you're eager to, put your stuff out there, but you need to be ready when your order comes. Because if you have, to run one day to figure out packaging and, bubble wrap, all that stuff, that takes time to the fulfillment order. And unfortunately, people are already waiting for their item as soon as they place the order. So if you need, bubble wrap, or if you need wood, if it's something big, like big ceramic pieces, or I don't know, big paintings, things of that sort, you need to figure out your packaging before you start. Also, your marketing materials. Again, marketing. This is really important. When you're sending something, just don't send an empty box. Make sure you send your business card. I know the person that you're sending it to already knows you, but maybe they want to promote you as well. So this is really important. I also, for myself, put a postcard, and I write thank you so much. If I know the person, I go a little bit more, in depth of, like, thank you so much. I know this, and that, like, I hope you enjoy them. If I don't know the person, like, hey, thank you so much, because during these times, this is an amazing support for me as a small business artist, Okay, so we're gonna dive right into Square Up. Like I said, if you've never done this before, go to squareup.com, not to be confused with Squarespace. I have a referral link that I'll send to you, so you can get the $1,000 transaction fee free. But if you already have a SquareUp and you wish to follow along, go to squareup.com/dashboard, and you'll arrive in a later image. I'll show you later. Okay, so if you've never done that, you're gonna go squareup.com. This is the first page you're gonna see. Welcome to Square. They want to know about you. So, if you're an individual, you're a business, and then tell us about your business. What do you do? For most of us, I think here it's going to be art, photo, or film, but or clothing and accessories. But if you do furniture, or if you're retail and markets, I mean, it's up to you. Here, you're going to tell them where do you sell? Do you go on the Go Art event, which is pretty much all I do, and the Square Online site. And this is where you're gonna choose the Square Online. But you can choose whatever identifies with your business. And then here is the extra options that they give you. When I'm talking about, there's more to just e-commerce. You obviously have your item catalog, but then you also can you can manage your marketing campaigns. So sending those emails, sending those pieces of information of, hey, I have a new, a new pair of earrings, a new ceramic piece, a new painting that's coming in, a new print, whatever your case may be. You want to inform the people that want to know about you. There's also a loyalty program. I've seen this mostly in like cafes or restaurants where like you buy a certain amount and then you get something in return. I'll be very careful with these rewards. Make sure that it's worthwhile your time, that you build community, but then it's also not biting onto your margins for profit. And also, if you're a non-for-profit business, you can also fund your business through here. And like I said, appointments. So this is telling you you're almost there. You're going to plug in your information. They're going to ask you where is your business, and then you're going to show up here. This is, again, if you've never been to a Square Up before, and you get a free reader with this, which is amazing. And then that's the QR code to download the Point of System app. Okay. So if you already have a Square store, this is what's going to show up. You're going to go to squareup.com/dashboard, and you're going to click online, and then this is what's going to show. The bar on top that says COVID-19 resources and funding is mostly for much bigger businesses than mine, but they do, like last time I checked, they do have a Skillshare 3-month free with your email. I would definitely take advantage of that if you're looking, to expand your I don't know, your abilities in certain things. Like if you want to do more painting or drawing, or you want to incorporate different art techniques. But they also have things for marketing and e-commerce. I think those are really, really important. That photography, e-commerce, marketing, how to deal with social media, all that stuff. I think it's really relevant to all of us right now. So go check that out. So, okay. So for this specific example, I'm going to choose retail. I don't know who's watching this. I don't know if there's like nonprofits or services or restaurants, but this is more specifically to artists that do retail work. So I'm going to click retail, and then you're going to tell them if it's a physical item. You can do several things. So this is where you can add, jewelry, your items, whatever, paintings, but then you can add your services. So you can add the appointments or memberships. If you want to do subscriptions, like a subscription box of a kind, you can also do that here. This is going to be how you fulfill your orders, and this is unique to everybody. If you want to ship your items only, if you want to allow pickup, or if you want to allow delivery, and you can set up your shipping rates, and you can just set up your delivery rates on the page. If you have, I don't know, very big ceramic pieces or very big painting pieces that you don't want to ship items, you can also allow only pickup. It's entirely up to you and how you run your business and how you want the e-commerce to work for you. And then there's going to be 3 different categories to choose from. The first one's going to be single booking page. This is awesome if you already have a website that, let's say, has your artist statement and your gallery pieces, and you're only trying to get an extra landing page for your shop. This is where you would choose. Like a single booking page is only one page, but it also works for selling your items. And it's only one page that tells your customer, hey, if you want to contact me, if you want to know more about me, go and refer to my website. This is only my shop. The shoppable Instagram page is going to be just that, an Instagram shopping page. They add an extra for business. And you can either choose to check out with Square Up, or you can choose to check out with Instagram if you do the integration. I would be very careful about integrating to check out with Instagram, because they do have fine print of you have to accept returns no matter what, and you have to fulfill your orders in a specific amount of time. And for me, those two already they just don't sound good for businesses like us. For businesses that are smaller, you don't know how the person returning the item is going to return. It's going to package your items for the return. So you don't want to have more commodity, but at the cost of returning pieces that are broken or they're damaged. So I'll be very cautious about that. Again, I do believe you should have an Instagram page set up on a shopping page set up on your Instagram, but not the checkout with Instagram. And then what we're going to be talking about today is going to be the full website plus online catalog. So everything from, hey, here's my main thing, to about us, to contact me, to sell, to search on my entire page. So if you already have a Square Up, you're going to go to online, choose online, squareup.com/dashboard, click online, and it will take you here. This is the first page you're going to see. And if you want to follow along with me, again, if you have questions, let me know. Post them in the question section. Okay, so this is my webpage. I'm here at the online store, and this is the analytics you have available for you. So the unique visits, the page views, and the sales. One of the first things that I would do here is go to items, because you're gonna, I mean, if you already have your inventory ready, you're gonna want to have all your items and then design everything else in your page. If you're in a time crunch, I would say try to design your page a little bit and then just plug in your items as you go. But I suggest that if you have a little bit more time, definitely work on your pieces, taking the pictures, taking the professional pictures, not just product images, and figure out the pricing and all that stuff. So we're gonna go down here. We're gonna go to item library. For me, I already have items. The internet's been really slow, sorry about that. I already have items, but just for this webinar sake, I'm gonna come here. And then the first thing you wanna do is add media. So I'm just gonna add really quick, click and drop a page, an image that I have here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and drop that there. And then I'm gonna drop a second one. I use Ascent for checking the size of my pieces, but because it's really small, whatever you drag up here, there you go. It's gonna be the first one. So your first image, I don't know what's going on. Your first image, oh, there you go. It's gonna be your primary image. So I don't wanna make that my primary image, but just so you know, the very first image that you upload will be your primary image. Then we'll go to item title, and I don't know. I'm just gonna click on this amazing thing. For your description, your item title, I'm very specific with mine because I just don't want to deal with various orders and then figuring out what I named, 50 pieces there, in one series, and then which one is it, so I'm very specific, but you can name your items however you want. In the description, you're going to want to have a few things, and I do them in this order, and I really recommend it. So first is going to be your materials. What is it made out of? People want to know what they're looking at. Sometimes it's really simple, but sometimes if it's a painting, they don't know if it's, oil or if it's, I don't know, watercolor. Well, I mean, you can tell by like oil or acrylic, or if it's oil pastels or, soft chalk pastels, like whatever. It's just materials are always important. What kind of paper you're using or what kind of glass you're using, all that stuff. The second you're gonna want to say, and if this is if it applies to you, is the inspiration, because people are gonna know what they are looking at. Queen of typos here. I'm sorry. And then you're gonna want to tell them the weight if this applies to you. Again, if you have a print, probably don't tell them the weight. It's fine. And dimensions. Or yeah, and this is why I hire someone to do my copywriting. Dimensions or sizes, and this is so they know exactly what to expect with your piece. And last but not least, we're gonna do the pre-order information. Pre-order is something that's really good if you already have an e-commerce site and you're doing your production work, and some production work takes longer than others, but you can reproduce it. Always choose pre-order, because you already made something, you can already take a picture, people already know about them. Perhaps you always want to have that option of an upsell, right? And make sure you're super thorough with your pre-order. Pre-order is going to be, people can buy something that's already sold out, and you make sure, like, this takes, I don't know, this takes 14 business days to get made, and plus fulfillment time of blank. You can do, I don't know, like I only accept pickup option for this pre-order. It's whatever you want, but you don't want to have like, I don't know, 3 or 4 items because you're waiting on another 2. And maybe you don't want to miss on a sale, basically. This is super, super important for someone that does things by hand because it takes longer. It's not like, oh yeah, it's in pre-order because I have to call someone to ship it to me. It's because you're making it by hand. So be very thorough. Give yourself the time that you're supposed to when you do pre-orders. And yeah, that's something super important. Again, this is for visibility. This is what I use for, well, hold on. This is what and unavailable. This is what I use when somebody buys something from me that is either listed, but it was in cash, or it was a friend and I really didn't, take down. Maybe I gave them a discount and I'm not really gonna, like figure out the discounts. I'm like, okay, give me this, blah, all that sort of stuff. And you just make it unavailable. So that will show that it's sold out on your main page. The hidden one is gonna be for things that you already have, but you're not ready to post on your page yet. This is what I do when I'm working. And as I work, at the end of the day, whatever pieces I've created, I take a picture, I edit the picture really quick, I upload all my description information, but I keep them hidden because it's not ready yet. But, or if you're trying to do something like what I do to keep kind of like a community with my email list, is I give them 24 hours in advance so they can shop to their heart's content. And then the rest of the people that are not on my email list, and then they get to pick what my email list basically didn't pick. And then this where I would click hidden, and I would make a different page profile where all my hidden items, and they're the only ones that can see it, only they have the link to them. And the visible is just, everyone, it's just going to show up on your page. Here's the fulfillment methods. You're going to choose if you want shipping, pickup, or local delivery for each individual item. So this is where you can customize for certain items to have them picked up or, or dropped off. I do have local delivery options, but again, this is entirely up to you. If you feel like doing it, it's entirely up to you. And then how long will the prep take for pickup and delivery? I usually give myself about 2 business days. If you know some of the people that are picking stuff for you, maybe they'll text you like, hey, can you have it earlier? That's up to you. And then this item is tax exempt. I think this is only for like nonprofit. Definitely pay your sales tax on all the items that you possibly can. We're gonna go down here to the actual item itself. So this is where you manage if it's I don't know, a red shirt. I don't know, I'm thinking of a shirt because I saw the shirt, but like if it's I don't know, let's say you have different frames for sale, so that you're going to be okay, a print and then a frame of such, and then or the green frame or the red frame or whatever, or size small, medium, large, etc. This is where this is going to go, and then you can name it, not regular, but whatever you want to call it. The stock is something that it's one of the reasons why I did not like Square Up. It's because you can't edit the stock when you are editing the first time you're creating your item. Because if I click here, it's going to tell me, oh, you want to save and then update the stock, but it still doesn't do it. I think there's like a glitch in the system where like you have to exit, go to items, and then come back to this item and then put the stock. I know it's an extra step, but it's a free site. It's definitely worth it. And do not skip this step because you run the risk of double selling something that maybe it's unique to you and you can't remake, or you don't have the materials, or you're gonna have that awkward conversation reaching out to your customer saying like, hey, you know what, I double sold on this, I'm so sorry, do you want to pick something else? And so you don't want to do that. Definitely pick the right stock. And if you don't do anything, if you don't put 1 or 0 or nothing, um, this will automatically let you say sell how many of them you want, or however many times it's clicked on. So please make sure that you do that. Here, price, you're going to put whatever you want, and then sales price is going to be if the item is on sale, what do you want your e-commerce site to show it as? So if you, let's say it's $100 and sale it's 85, what this is going to do is show your item $85 in red, and then it's going to have a cross under 100. So it's just to show the actual price versus the sales price. The item ID is something I really don't deal with, just because I make more like a one of a kind items. So I really don't mess too much with that unless it's something that I reproduce a lot, which I really don't do. Or if you're reselling stuff, this is you can put the actual SKU, and you're like, oh, okay, well, I need to order more of this SKU. The weight is for purposes of shipping. I usually put the weight over here. People are not really reading when they're clicking like buy this and like the fine print. So I just rather have it over here where it's more accessible to people. The modifiers are going to be things that are an extra added charge. So let's say I'm selling these earrings, but they're made with silver. And they want to create a modifier to tell me, hey, you know what, I want them in gold, and I do offer them in gold. So then you're going to put here, like select a list, or select from text box, hey, this is, this is gold, gold, and then, whatever. And then the price, you're going to put $100 more or whatever you want to put. Why is it stuck here? Done. Sorry. And then categories are super important to divide your things if you have many of them, and also to create series. Right here, you can see I have different series, gift under 50, but then I also have, if it's earrings, because earrings is what I make the most of, or if it's clay jewelry, or if it's metal jewelry. So this will be, again, unique to you. If you do, maybe you do tableware, but then sometimes you just create your one of a kind pieces that doesn't have to do with making ceramics and plates and bowls and all that stuff. You create sculptures or something of that sort. Then you want to create categories so people are more familiarized with what they're gonna see when they click on something. Okay, this is the SEO, or the search engine optimization. Like I said, here on the Permalink, you are not going to be able to have spaces. So everything's going to be a dash instead of a space. But like we titled this item, this amazing thing, here we're going to put this amazing. And this would be your business.square.site / this amazing thing. So you have this branded thing already that looks more cohesive than item number 0 blah, 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 plus, you know what I mean? Here is where you want, again, your title to show up. And then here is going to be the description. It has to be shorter than your actual description. This has to be material and call to action. So this could be shop now, or contact me for more information, or customize orders available, something like that, of that sort. And this is where that's going to be. Okay. So I'm going to cancel this item. I don't I don't really need it. Yes. And then we're going to go here to, where is it? Oh, here to your website. Sorry. This is where everything else lives. I suggest and urge you to click on each individual thing to make sure what it does. And if you're not familiar with what something, it's like how it's reacting or why is it not, doing something in particular. This is where your back end lives. This is where you're gonna edit your items, or you're gonna edit your categories, where you're gonna edit the things show up on your actual website. So if this doesn't look like a website to you, it's because it's not. It's the back end. It's all your inventory. It's all your information. If you want to go to your actual website and actual edit your website, you're going to go to website and edit website. And this is where SquareUp and Weebly connect. Weebly is the source of the actual site where your design lives. SquareUp is where all your information lives. So they marry the thing together. And then this is where Weebly comes in. And then we're actually in Weebly right now. So this is how my page looks like, my SquareUp. I don't use this anymore. I kept it live for this purposes, but I switched to Shopify. But I still miss the part where you can just come here and edit. The great thing about this is that if you're not familiar or you're not sure what this does, it automatically, when you hover over, it will highlight either on your page sections or on the actual page itself. So if you click on the main banner on the left will be highlighted. So you know exactly where you are. A very important thing when it comes to e-commerce is to be direct and to be to the point. I recommend these main three things to have in your page as soon as you come in. A big image that sells your work for you. For mine, this is it. I mean, obviously I'm the model here, but I don't always choose myself as a model. But having, something that talks about your brand and shows the product right in the front, because that's why people are in your site. A very small thing that says, hey, this is my business. I chose this title. It's really, really long, but I was being a little theatrical with this. But seafoam trims is now available would suffice. And then a call to action, shop now. Those three things: picture, a little bit about your brand, and shop now. Because people don't have the time to read through your page, basically. And they don't care. And people probably never never read this, and they just click shop now and they just drop into the shop. People don't want to spend more time than they need to on your shop, and you need to take them to your shop right away. If they want to read more about you, if they want to contact you, they'll search for that. But you want to send them directly to the sale, because there's 3,000 things where everyone's in Zoom every day, all day. And then, you get a text, you get a Facebook notification, you get an Instagram notification, everyone's on their phone scrolling all day. You want to make it as easier as possible for them to reach their last destination, which is shopping cart checkout. So you want to have that in handy. And then for this, I would kind of like leave it at that. If you want to take out contact us and have it a separate thing, I mean, it's up to you, but definitely have a shop all and your cart and the gift card, because you want to upsell again. And then this is how more or less how I have mine. I also have a second call to action, just in case they went straight to the shop all. It's I have it set up where like the newest stuff gets that's the first thing that people see. But then, I do also have a feature items, so that in case they missed it, or they're like older items that people haven't really interacted with, they get interacted with. I have a photo gallery to promote other people, other types of pictures, not just me. I'm not the only model, and I'm not the only body type there is out there. Call to action: always email, always try to get them to get that email subscription so you can reach out to them later on. and my Instagram, because you want them to follow you on your social media, because it's free marketing. You know, it's there, and you please post every day that you can post, so that they see you. I also have customer testimonials. These things are things that people probably don't see right at the end. Rarely do people go all the way and scroll all the way down. And this is what I'm talking about, where the further branding Square, that's what Square does. Gonna go right back over here and tell you a little bit about how to connect your Facebook store to your actual to your actual Square site. So you're gonna go to Facebook on your and a thing that I forgot to say. Make sure you're actually in the right thing, because there's two things, right? There's Weebly and there's Square Up, and they're all interconnected. But if you go to your edit site, you're not gonna get, you know, the extra bar of information that Square Up has. This is just specifically to edit your site. So you're gonna exit the editor. You don't want to edit anymore. You want to, you know, deal with the back end of this stuff. So you click to Facebook, click connect account, and then you're going to get this. You're going to log in onto your Facebook, and this is, again, if you have a business page. If you've never created a business page for Facebook or Instagram, please do so. We're going to send you an email with all the information for that, how to create your Facebook business page. But let's just pretend for time's sake that you already have a business page, and this is what's going to show up. You're going to put your information, and then it's going to ask you, Square would like to manage your ads, access to your Facebook, all that stuff. You're going to say yes, click OK. And then I would click uninstall the Facebook Pixel, which is, again, how Facebook and Square Up interact and send each other information. This is what you need to send them so that they can have Facebook can have access to your items. And then you're gonna click here for this particular client. It's Alex Metalworks. You're gonna click down, and then you're gonna see your ID. And this is the Pixel. And you're going to click OK. I got a notification for this particular client because it was like their very first thing that they did on their business. And it's like, oh, it's not set up yet. Would you like to set it up? Click OK, and then it'll let you go through. And this is what it should look like when you have your Facebook connected. And then you can connect your business manager account, and I'll send you links to your business manager account information and all that. But at least you have your Facebook page connected, and this will allow to for you to do your Instagram as well. So if you have any questions, go back to this video, check this information out, check how it should look like. And yeah, that's it for me. Thank you all so much for allowing me to be here and being here this hour with me. I do consultations as well as the entire e-commerce website. If you don't want to deal with this, I do consultations for $20 an hour, where, you know, we can just set up an hour, and then you can tell me, you know, your particular questions and how you should lay out, and I'll be very happy to help you. Also follow me on my Instagram, Paulina Rosas Designs, and my Facebook at Paulina Rosas Designs. Also check Los Artistas. We have some really good webinars. This is losartistas.org. You click on our homepage, and you see, you know, this webinar. You see Susie's and Rochelle's webinar next, Aide's and Jess Tolbert at the end. So please don't forget to check those out, and follow Los Artistas on Facebook and Instagram as well. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen, and I'm gonna let Lara tell me about the questions that people had on this subject.
Hi, Paulina.
Sorry, what was that? Sorry.
Wow, that was very, very informational. I want to remind everyone that the session is being recorded and that we're going to post it on our YouTube channel. So don't worry, everything is going to be there. The first question was, can we have an example on how you name your items?
Oh, hey, it's very simple. I basically name my item, and I have jewelry, so this is gonna be like super specific. But let's say this one right here, the inspiration for this was Rising Sun. I was doing a collection on Japanese culture and food. So I decided to do a collection on just the name Rising Sun. So this would be Rising Sun, um, medium dangle. And then that's just basically that's all I do. It's like the series and then the way my item looks. This is going to be very personal to you. This is entirely up to you how you want to name your things. If you want to, name print number 2, you can also do that. I know one of my clients does that where it's their serious name. So for this would be like Rising Sun number 16, and it's entirely up to you how you want to name your things. I still don't think anyone has figured out how to do that yet.
All right, the next question is, will you please explain the stock item? I think there was a
Stock
little
item?
confusion, yes. When you were going through the
On-
instructions.
Oh, the stock, the SKU, the number, the stock item number. Let me,
Yes.
so that's yeah, okay. So this is basically a number that you give your item. It doesn't already have it. This is the number that you yourself give it so that you can restock it. And this is why I say this is for people mostly that do the buy from somewhere else and then they resell because they already have an item number. So it's easier for them to restock on that item based on the item number if you have like 300 items that you've never done yourself. I particularly really don't use this because I already know my items and how they're made. Um, it's a barcode of sorts for like a number ID. So this would be beneficial if you resell stuff,
Yeah,
or your items.
I guess it would make more sense for someone who's maybe, selling T-shirts or, like a large amount of the same item that's exactly the same, So maybe if it's a T-shirt or totes or keychains, whatever like that, and you have 500 to sell out of those, so they
Or
all get the same SKU.
as well, this would be that you probably your merchant has like a number for you for this specific item. That's where you put it.
Right. Well, that's actually the last question, unless anyone else has anything else.
Awesome. Oh, it's thorough.
Yes. So we're right on time.
Your second business is still under this platform? Yes, my second business still under this platform. I do have a business. It's called Cha Chicks. Square.site. Go check it out. But yeah, I do have many businesses, many hats here. But yeah, I hope I was
So there's just one last question. Could you explain stock again in general? Do you whoever asked that question, do you wanna?
There's also another. Oh yeah. Stock is how many items you have. How many items you have of that. How the number of the specific item. So if I were to make 50 of this earring, I would put stock 50 because I have 50 of this item. But if I only have one and I don't edit that stock, and somebody else, then the website, what it will do will be like, okay, this item doesn't need a stock because it's always in stock, right? You always have it available, but you don't, like sometimes it's the case that you're making things and you don't have unlimited amounts of stock. You only made one. You would want to edit that to one because then you're going to keep reselling that item. It will allow you to sell that item until you tell it to stop. So you don't want to oversell an item by not telling it exactly how many are available or is available, how much.
All right, I think the next one is just a comment. Thank you, and we receive a few thank yous. So thank you, Paulina. Thank you for sharing all that knowledge. Again, go back to our YouTube channel, guys. It's gonna be recorded and posted in there.
Okay, awesome. I see other. Do I see other? I'm just trying to
Yeah.
see
I think
what
there-
should come first,
Thank you.
website, store, or other. I mean, it really depends. Depends on how you're working. I would do your website and store at the same time. It helped my first visual market, failed my second, had email sales, keep it simple, short. Sorry, I'm like trying to read. Have you or artists you know worked with video on their commerce sites? I guess video, it's important if you're selling something that it's needs to be shown how it's used. I think, or how it's made. It would be nice to show people that, you know, you make everything from like start to finish. I think that's really, really important. But I don't think it's necessary, because again, people are always on the run. They will rarely click on a video and kind of like sit to watch it. If you put the same item in different categories, for example, put the same pair of earrings in under 50 and under clay, does the information have to be input twice? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Basically, it just shows it. It will show it twice because it's under two different categories. But again, categories can merge. You know, I mean, yeah, of course I have, and I do have that. You know, but that would be if people click on a specific category that they want to see. You know, this item. So yeah. Do you have a professional photographer you can recommend? I actually take all the pictures myself. Jorge is really good. I know he was saying he sells his services. I also sell my services for photography as well. But yeah, do you have something to say, Laura? Maybe you know somebody else?
Well,
Yeah.
I would say, first of all, check the previous session. I know that was also very, very fast, and it's a lot of information condensed in 1 hour, but definitely give it a shot. Learn on your own, and if you definitely need someone's help, we know a few people.
Yeah. But yeah, I actually do take the pictures myself. I just I do it all. I do. Yeah. So yeah, there you go. Jorge just gave us this information. You can also contact me if you like. You know, we do have different styles. So if you want, you know, you obviously want to have different options, but Jorge Calleja is amazing. Definitely check his site. And thank you all so much for the questions. If you have any more questions, or if you needed more advice, again, email me. I do consultation sessions, and yeah, this was great. Thank you so much to Los Artistas, and thank you so much, Laura.
Yes, and to everyone who registered, we're going to be emailing any materials that you want to send them. Everyone is going to be receiving that email.
Yeah, awesome.
All
Well,
right.
thank you so much, guys.